So in this video, I want to talk about obsession when it comes to life and also in business. So a little bit of background about me. I remember whenever I first grew up, I was in all sorts of different things. I was doing table tennis, I was doing swimming, I was doing basketball, I was doing violin, I was doing art, all sorts of different things I was just doing because my parents wanted me to develop as a human being and just having all these skills. And I remember every single time I got into something, I became obsessed with it. But the obsession only lasted a couple of weeks, if not months, and then I gave up. So that was my biggest Achilles heel when it came to running a business and also later in life. When I first entered college, what happened was I got very, very obsessed into going to the gym. So every single day we would hit these 2 to 3 hour workouts. We'll take tons of pre-workout, take all the supplements, creatine, whey protein, pump product, just so we could just optimize everything when it came to gaining muscle in the gym. And I remember every single time with the diets and my bulking, I was eating 2 Chipotle bowls, 2 tortillas every single meal just to get muscle. I was literally obsessed over it. And in my free time, all I watched was like Christian Guzman, Mac Tuning, David Lade, people like that in my free time. And this obsession carries over into any other aspects of your life. So whether it's in business, whether it's in health, you have to be obsessed to actually achieve results in your lifetime. And I remember after that, essentially I was studying software engineering or computer engineering in university. And it was so hard for me to land an internship. I remember my first time, it took me probably 1,000, 2,000 applications. I got maybe 2 interviews because I had no experience, and I got 1 offer. So having that obsession on top of just mass volume of outreach was the key to my success in terms of like landing that internship. And then after that, I always wanted the next internship, the next big FANG internship. So that summer was when COVID hit in 2020, or 2019 was when I started doing the interview questions. But every single night, I wouldn't even go out to parties. I would just go to the gym, I'll come home, do maybe 4 hours of interview practice, and then do my side projects to just build up my resume in order to get that internship. And I remember after a year and a half of doing that every single day consistently, I finally got my dream internship. And I just kind of felt empty. And I was just thinking in my head, like, what is the next obsession? And what is the next goal in life? Because I remember seeing a video today or earlier yesterday about how all the things that you said in the past that will make you happy, you've already achieved. So how do you really achieve happiness in this lifetime if you're just constantly being happy whenever you achieve these goals and then you're having the next thing? And I think with everything in life, it's more so about the progress. Like being obsessed with the process, being obsessed with how you develop as a person throughout the entire process and not the result is what's going to keep you going day after day. And when I finally got into my AI agency, I joined this program, paid tens of thousands of dollars to join this program. And I remember every single day, I was literally just obsessed with sales training. I was obsessed with funnels, obsessed with ads, obsessed with sales training. But sales training was my biggest bottleneck because imagine coming from an introverted software engineer, you couldn't even look people in the eye, let alone communicate your thoughts clearly, like in this video. I had to battle all of those in order to just portray myself as an authority in the local marketing space and collect payment from my users. And how can you really do that without just being obsessed with the process? Every single night, I remember going to bed, I would watch hours of Cole Gordon, hours of Jeremy Miner, hours of these live call recordings on YouTube in order to learn sales. And every single call that I had, I would review it with a sales buddy. This was back when I was in Buenos Aires. So one of my buddies, he does door-to-door sales, #1 sales rep in Canada for his company. He was just teaching me sales on a day-by-day basis. And we used to go out for dinners, we used to go out for cigars, and all we talked about was sales and how can I battle these objections, how can I portray myself as an authority, and how do I handle these sales calls, and what questions am I asking wrong, what questions am I asking right, and how do we progress from here. And just having that obsession in terms of perfecting your craft is what allowed me to be successful in the AI agency, but also now creating solutions for AI agencies to essentially white label our service, our software, in order to fulfill for their clients. So jumping into that, the AI agency transferred more so towards like the AI SaaS, which with the AI agency, we handle a lot of employees, a lot of client communication, but with the AI SaaS, it's more so we build it once and we just release it into multiple local business clients and also marketing agencies as well. And even nowadays, the obsession every single day, from the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep, all I think about are ads, funnels, how to increase LTV on the software, because I do want to exit one day. And this obsession is going to carry on. And this is the one thing that I see from people that succeed and people that don't. Like, not being obsessed with the process. You maybe become obsessed like I was when I was a kid for maybe weeks or months. However, you're not going to be obsessed. Like, the first thing that you think about every single time you wake up, the thing that you think last about before you fall asleep, like, that's the level of obsession you need in order to succeed in this life. Of course, it's not always going to be like that. You're going to have periods of this obsession. You're going to have periods where you actually enjoy life. I've been to a lot of places, probably 30, 40 plus countries. Right now I'm in Budapest and I'm just like living here. And you need periods of obsession in this life because that's what's going to progress your progress. Imagine you have 10 years to accomplish the same goals that you want to accomplish. But imagine you cut that time frame down into 1 week, or you cut it down to 1 month. If you set yourself 10 years to accomplish this goal, you're going to do it in 10 years. But if you set yourself this goal to accomplish this in the first month, you're going to accomplish that in the first month. You're going to fill up whatever time. You're going to focus on the actions that you need to take in order to accomplish this goal over a shorter time frame. And that's what you really need. You just need a shorter time frame, because life on this earth, you don't know how much time you actually have. And the last thing you want to be on your deathbed is having these regrets of why you didn't take action, why you didn't take risk, why didn't you just commit yourself to the process to actually achieve the goals that you want in this life. And whether it's monetary wealth, whether it's relationship, whether it's family, like whatever you want in this life, you have to be willing to go after it, because nobody else is going to go after it for you. Nobody in this life is coming to save you. Nobody's going to lend a helping hand to just guide you in the process. But for the most part, you're the only person that can control yourself and control your destiny, control your dreams in this lifetime. Because nobody will do it for you. No matter how much your mom loves you, no matter how much your dad loves you, they just want you to be stable in this life. However, you're going to have uncomfortable situations. You're going to have uncomfortable conversations with yourself in order to achieve these goals. And that's the biggest thing. It's more so about the mindset shift. And I know I talk a lot about mindset on this channel. And the biggest thing is definitely the mindset shift. If you commit yourself 100% to one goal, you're going to achieve it. What's the last time you committed 100% to this goal and you didn't achieve it, right? No matter what the time frame is, you're going to achieve it no matter what. Imagine it's the only thing you think about. The obsession, where the only thing that you think about on a day by day is achieving this goal. You're going to achieve it anytime. And that's all I really had for this video. The main takeaway is just be obsessed with the process. And this should be the only thing you think about in the next month, or whatever your time frame is. I would tell you to do in the next week. But if you want to give yourself more leeway, do in the next month. So whether it's starting your AI agency, hitting that 10K per month, hitting 100K per month, or $1 million per month, which essentially is what I want to hit in the AI SaaS, you need to be obsessed with the process and do the 80-20 rule, where 20% of your actions will produce 80% of the results, especially since you reduce the time frame from 10 years down to 1 month. What are the actions that you actually need to take in order to achieve success, right? Number one, if you have no leads, how do we get leads? Number two, if we have no appointments, we have leads. How do we get more appointments? Are you calling them twice a day, double dialing over a 7-day sequence? No? Okay, let's start doing that. Number three, how do we have appointments, we have leads, how do we close these people? Okay, do sales training every single day like I did for hours on end. Practice with a door-to-door sales guy. Practice with ChatGPT. Just keep reiterating all the objections that will come up. How are you going to structure your sales calls? Even in the gym, I'm constantly reiterating that back in my head. And that's how you really succeed. Afterwards, let's say you're more so worried about the service delivery. With enough cash collected in your agency, you can always outsource to a really good media buyer or a really good AI automation specialist, and you won't have that problem. Cash will solve everything in your business. The main thing is like you don't have leads, or you don't have appointments, or you don't have cash. So the main thing is just like get started, don't overthink, and that's what's going to take you far in this life. And I'll catch you in the next video.